Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Jurassic Dominion dreadnoughtus. First, let's take a look at the box. So we got the Jurassic Dominion logo with the word dreadnoughtus at the bottom and a picture of a child playing with it. In the background we have some nice trees and foliage while the dreadnoughtuses are walking through the water. There's also a size at the top saying that this figure is about 5 feet in length. When we turn this figure box around, it has a picture of the articulation on it, and then it has a picture of the dreadnoughtus on horizontally, and also the Jurassic Facts app is chilling over here, and then another picture of someone playing with the dreadnoughtus. So let's open this figure up. This figure comes in 4 large parts. Over here we have the body. Here we have the upper part of the tail. Here we have the absolutely enormous neck and head. And then here we have the tail. And let's get these all unwrapped. Okay, we have the head out of the packaging, and this thing's head is huge. Look at the detailing on this. It has a nice eye. And on the other side it has a nice eye. It has an articulated jaw with lots of teeth. This is a ginormous neck and head. Here's the lower part of the tail, the very end of it. It's a really large piece of plastic. Here we have the upper part of the tail, which this is what's going to connect. This part of the tail will connect that in a little bit. And here's the absolutely enormous body of this thing. This thing's body is absolutely huge. Locking its legs into position. This is the largest figure ever made by Mattel. So you know this thing is huge. Let's get to connecting some parts. First, let's connect the neck. Wait, this is the neck end. I just don't want to try to shove that in. I'm probably going to have to pause this. Okay, we've got the neck on. Next, let's put these parts of the tail together. We should just probably just gotta line that up. It goes like this. Just gonna. Okay, now that we got this connected, we're gonna have to connect this to the rest of the body right here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Now that we have this figure all together, we can start the review. First, let's start with the head of this thing. This thing is absolutely gigantic. Let's see if I can get the head down. Okay, the head, before we can do a proper review part. The head has nice yellow eye coloring, good face colors. Mouth can articulate like I showed earlier. And it has 2 nostrils up here. Has some pretty good wrinkly texturing. Then as we go down the neck, we can move all the way down. It has some pretty good wrinkly texturing and nice kind of palish, greenish, brown, goldish colors. Then once we get down to the legs, there's some pretty good leg texturing. And then there's the feet. Then we have the hind legs, after we have all these big, nice wrinkling texturings all along the body. Then we have the hind leg, which this thing has a massive hind leg. Then from there, we can go all the way down the nice, long, wrinkly tail, which actually has a rubbery ending kind of. This thing is hard to review. Okay, so if you wanted to get the scan code, let me pop it up real quick. Thankfully, that came up pretty easily. The other side, by the way, is basically the same. But here's the scan code for the dreadnoughtus if you need it. Okay, there you go. Okay, for articulation, this figure has articulation at the tail, for it can swing back and forth. Articulation, I believe, all the way down here, this can turn. All the legs move back and about this far forwards, and then the front legs move all the way forward and all the way back, about to there. This thing can actually stand with 3 legs, unlike the Brachiosaurus, which cannot do that. Also, the neck right here can go pretty high up and a decent length down. It doesn't have as bad of a hump as the Brachiosaurus. Next here we have this part of the neck articulation that turns side to side a bit. Yeah. Then as I turn this gigantic figure, there's also one more point of articulation, being the mouth. If you want to figure out how long this figure is, that's going to be a little bit hard, but let me back the camera up real quick. Even now, I cannot get this whole thing in frame. This thing is huge. Okay, next we should do a size comparison. Or just figure out how long this thing is. This thing is absolutely huge, because the length of this thing is magnificently large. So if we start from down here, it should be about 5-ish feet. And it actually is about, in this position, this figure is about 5 feet and 2 inches, which is a really large figure. Yeah, that means this thing is huge. Next, let me try to do some size comparisons with it. First, let's just start with the one everyone wants to see. And that thing next to the Brachiosaurus. The Brachiosaurus has a slightly bigger body, but the dreadnoughtus and all is much larger. Just from the tail's length, at least. The tail is at least twice as long as the Brachiosaur tail. Also, its head is much larger. That's why I was so shocked. The Brachiosaurus had a large head, but dreadnoughtus had it even bigger. So next is, just in case, perhaps maybe you do not have the Brachiosaurus, and you have, how about the Mosasaurus? Mosasaurus, absolutely dwarfed by this thing. Next, let's compare it to the now 4 years old, I believe, Thrash and Throw T-Rex. The T-Rex would be absolutely crushed by this gigantic sauropod. It would absolutely annihilate the Tyrannosaurus. Okay. A few more. Here is our next one we're going to compare this to is actually the striking roar Giganotosaurus. This thing would also crush this thing. The thing about Giganotosaurus, it used to be believed that Giganotosaurus ate large sauropods like this, but it was disproven and found that its slightly smaller but younger cousin Mapusaurus would have most likely hunted sauropods. And we're going to just get a few more in. So first, Velociraptor is absolutely tiny. Get crushed. And then the last one we're probably going to do in this video is... Actually, I lied. There's 2 more we got to do. First, we have the Lystrosaurus. Yeah, that thing wouldn't stand a chance. It's really tiny. And now, on to our last one. It's just a human. Yeah, a human would be crushed by this thing. Ginormous size. All in all, would I recommend the dreadnoughtus? Yes, it's the best sauropod Mattel has made. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. There'll be a lot this month.
Hello there. I'd like to let you guys know that, well, let me show you. We've got merch. So, please buy some merch.